Hello, I'm Miranda. I'm an I'm an artist and an astrologer, and I'm here to talk about the concept of empty houses in astrology. And the main thing is that they're not really a thing because every person has everything in a chart. They're just there are just instances where there are no planets or other I guess just astral bodies noted in those houses, but they're more open. I would encourage thinking about them as open versus empty. There is no lack, it's just the energy is in other places, and those areas of life that don't have planets hanging out there, they there are connections to that area of life that light it up in different ways. So I wanted to show an example using a fictional character chart that I've created and hopefully give a sense of the web of connections that a chart is. And yeah, mainly I want you to feel really empowered by your chart and know that any quote unquote empty houses are still places that are active, that are still important, and that you can still engage with. Yeah. So this is a character I created using some dice, so some random rolls to create the date and time. The location was a bit random, just kind of just went with it. And yeah, I think it's a really cool chart. I think every chart is cool. But in this example, the sixth house with Pisces is quote unquote empty, but I'm going to say it's open. And I think one of the things to keep in mind when looking at a chart is the different biases that go into the software or the limitations. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of stars. There are thousands and thousands of asteroids and a limited amount of planets that have been, you know, observed and recorded about and deemed important. So I will show you an example of including other elements beside the planets. But for this example, the sixth house with Pisces is open. There aren't any planets there. I haven't turned on the fixed stars that sit in there. And I haven't turned on any asteroids that I've deemed significant for this character here. So even though there are no placements here, I would look at different things to look at the connections and activations of this area of life. So this is the area of life of like daily work, physical routines, physical health. And with Pisces, traditionally Jupiter rules Pisces. So I'm going to look for Jupiter in the chart. And Jupiter is in the ninth house in Gemini. So this tells me a lot already. But I think one of the important things is to know that Jupiter can see Pisces, can see its home sign. It can see Sagittarius as well because it rules Sagittarius. Um, and when I say see, it's making a type of connection. So from Gemini to Pisces, this is what's called a square aspect. And from Jupiter set to Sagittarius, that's what's called an opposition. But for now, I want to just focus on the different connections and know that things light up this open area of life in different ways. So Jupiter rules Pisces, and knowing that Jupiter is active in the ninth house realm. So that is the realm of higher knowledge, higher learning, a lot of self-knowledge, philosophy, spirituality, religion, law, foreign travel, foreign places, so school of life. Um, yeah, you learn a lot about yourself in this area, which Jupiter really likes, but is just not as comfortable in the sign of Gemini. So Jupiter is here. It is still it's still active here. This area of life, this ninth house realm, is going to play a part in this open house in the sixth house. Um, we can also say the same thing for Sagittarius because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So third house stuff like rituals, the local neighborhood, siblings, or family, more like friends that feel like family, things that are done consistently on a daily basis, short travel. These are all also touching on this area of life, the sixth house area of life. So that's another connection. I would also say that I would look at Venus. So Venus loves Pisces. So she sort of co-rules Pisces. She's what's called exalted in Pisces. So she loves being there. She's very comfortable. Jupiter and Venus really enjoy that area. She has a, no, she can see it. She's opposing it. Um, but she loves Pisces. She has a say in this area of life as well. And she might just be having to go about things in a more unique way because she's not as comfortable in Virgo. She would much rather be in Pisces. So I look at Venus as well for what's going on in the sixth house. And then, yeah, I would say there's a whole lot of other stuff, but I want to start there. I want to give the example of a fixed star. So if I did not have this fixed star, Alphecca, turned on in the software, Scorpio in the second house would also be open. So no planets are there, no asteroids that I've turned on are there, and it's also open. But I would get really curious about fixed stars. Um, They have a lot of mythology and culture tied into them because of the constellations they are a part of. They have what's called planetary natures. So they have sorts of blends of like Mars and Venus, or um, a blend of Venus and Mercury in the way that they express. So even if um, something is open, a house is open, there might be some important or significant fixed stars there as well. An example of an asteroid, not all asteroids in this software have a symbol, but an asteroid would be like Ceres here with this sickle symbol that's in the first house. Those are also great to explore different archetypes that are present in certain areas of life. But that's a different topic. So, if there's anything else I want to talk about, I think another big connection to look at that lights up an open house is the element. So Pisces is a water element, Cancer's water element, and Scorpio's water element. So they all connect sympathetically or positively, and those areas of life are going to affect this open house, this sixth house. Um, yeah. So I would leave it there. I hope that that gives a sense of more expansion when it comes to empty houses because everyone has everything. They just show up in different ways. And I hope you feel more curious and interested in knowing the depths of what maybe you thought was empty before. So if you got something out of this or you have questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments. Um, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.